Debbie Price is going to come and join me for our offertory. And she's saying that Gail has to sing too.
Gail, you have to sing too.
Yes, we have words. Yeah, that Debbie decided to do this when she walked in today and saw the song on the order of service. And this is a song, well, John Prine says the best campfire song for organ donation that there is.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you know I am not shy. I will sing just about anything, but I don't know this song. So I'm going to defer to you, darling.
Well, I've never sang with Charlie before, so we'll just see how it goes.
But we're going to overcome our fears.
It ain't Bach.
But it does have one of the greatest opening lines ever written.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning, put on my slippers, walked in the kitchen and died. And oh, what a feeling when my soul went through the ceiling, and up into heaven I did ride. When I got there they did say, John, it happened this way. You slipped upon the floor and hit your head. And all the angels say just before you passed away, these were very last words that you said. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes, and the deaf can have both my ears if they don't mind the size. Give my stomach to Milwaukee if they run out of beer. Put my socks in a heated box and get them out of here. Venus de Milo can have my arms, well, I've got your nose. Sell my heart to the junk man and give my love to Rose. But please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. No, I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, the blind can have my eyes, and the deaf can have both my ears if they don't mind the size. Give my feet to the footloose, the careless, fancy-free. Give my knees to the needy, don't pull that stuff on me. Hand me down my walking cane, it's a sin to tell a lie. Set my mouth way down south and kiss myself goodbye. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. I'd rather have them cut me up and pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, but then I can have my eyes, and deaf can have both my ears if they don't mind the size. When I was a kid, they had movies called The Living Dead. There was Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, the Son of the Living Dead come into your living room. Seemed like every month or so there was a new Living Dead movie that I had to run out to and see. And of course, these movies had monsters. They were scary things that came up out of the ground, and they just would be zombies, and they would chase you. And I don't know why anybody was afraid of the living dead, because they're chasing you, and they're going about this fast. You know, you could really walk away from the living dead. You got to say, hey. They were zombies, and I kind of feeling like your zombie preacher this morning because I was on a bus at 4 a.m. yesterday going to Washington, D.C. I marched for a while and came back and was in bed by 1 and turned back the clock, and it was 12, and so I got that extra hour of sleep, so I'm doing okay, but a little bit like your zombie preacher today on Halloween. But the living dead, the people that are with us still. Traditionally in Halloween, or before it was called Halloween, in the pagan holidays in Europe, they would say that this was the time of year where the veil between the land of the living and the land of the dead was the thinnest. And so some people would do things that would invite the ancestors in. Other people would do things that would keep the ancestors away, like jack-o'-lanterns and scary things. And so it was kind of fearful because, we know some of the people who lived before. Some of them like us and some of them don't. And some of us haunt us and some of them inspire us. And so some of them are famous, and I think we have a couple famous Unitarian Universalists here. We have two Susan B. Anthonys, if they would stand. They're like, and I'm Henry David Thoreau. You might recognize me from the website. And there's other inspirational people here. Elvis is in the building. Yeah. And there's these people who are no longer with us in their bodily form. We can't have a conversation with them in words over coffee, but we are in conversation with them all the time. And whenever we consider what is it like, what does it mean to have equal rights for women, what does it mean to be civil disobedience? Yesterday when they rerouted us past the White House and wouldn't let us go down Pennsylvania Avenue but a block north on the other side of Lafayette Park, part of me said, gee, we could rush the barriers, and then I said, then I'd be arrested and I could be just like Thoreau. But I opted to dress like him and be here this morning. And one of the most moving things yesterday was the number of signs for Paul Wellstone. And it was such a tragedy, but you saw the tragedy just transformed so many people who had signs and said, I'm marching for Paul. And it was just one of the things that moved, because he was one of the few people who had the courage to vote against the war while he's in a tough election. And that is one of the people that I just admire for the courage to be out there with his beliefs. And admired even in the paper by Jesse Helms, who said he had the courage to be out there with his beliefs, and though they despised each other 12 years ago when they met each other, they learned to work with each other on issues such as health care for mental health care bill. They wrote a bill together and say, if Paul Wellstone and Jesse Helms can get along, this world has hope if we really look at it. And then there's just the living dead that are the accident of why we're here, whether we're Native American or immigrant by this past generation or generations gone. I don't even know the names of my people who came to this country. But they made a decision, and I'm an American because of some accident of birth that was a conscious decision of some living dead. these people who have influenced my life, and I don't even know their names. So the living dead are not the zombies that come to get us, but they're all those people, known and unknown, the whole wave of humanity that inspires us and sometimes haunts us in giving us assumptions and beliefs that we've inherited or that we are reacting against. But the living dead, the dead are with us still.